Hello. I've just brought you in quickly. It is a Wednesday evening, so it's not the normal sort of time that I'd be recording or anything. But I just come down since I've planted since I sowed the radish and turnips and spinach. I hadn't actually been down to thin anything out, or I had been down for watering and feeding and that, but I hadn't actually got round to thinning them out because I've been so busy. And I've come down tonight. I've thinned out the turnips, and they're all growing nicely. I've looked in the next row, and a few of the radishes were ready. So I pulled my first ever radishes, so I'm really happy with that. Looking forward to giving them a go. As I said before in a previous video, I'm not a massive fan of radishes, but homegrown stuff always tastes a bit better than the supermarket stuff, so I thought I'd give it a go, and it's a quick turnaround crop anyway. So the other thing I was really pleased with, haven't been down in 3 or 4 days, and I managed to harvest a basket full of tomatoes. That's off one plant, actually, one bush tomato plant. There's loads more coming, so yeah, really pleased with that as well. They'll have to be shared out because I don't have enough mouths in our household to get through all of those. Or I could make a nice stew or something, couldn't I, and use them up. Myself a cucumber as well. But that was really all I wanted to bring you in for, just the first time I've picked some radishes, so better get on with my maintenance.
Okay, so here's the layout, my proposed layout, just to orientate you. To begin with, the existing shed is down here, and then you've got the back fence that runs all the way along the top, which is where the brambles are currently here. So what I'm thinking is I'll stick a new shed up here, a bigger one, 3 meters wide by 2 meters deep approximately. I'm going to build the shed myself so I can make it to any size I want. So I'll stick that up here. My reasoning for that is that the sun comes from over here and swings over this way, so all this behind the fence in the morning is in shade until sort of late morning. So this being the darkest area, I'll stick my shed there. I don't want to be sticking anything there to grow at the moment. Currently my runner beans come down here, so I mean potentially that's why those ones didn't grow as well as the ones down here at the front. But anyway, so I'll stick my shed in the darkest place. Then I'm thinking where it does get nice and bright in the morning, I'll have a polytunnel here. It's the polytunnel that I'm thinking of is 3 meters by 2.5 roughly, and I'm thinking of sticking it there because the wind comes through this direction, so I can open it up and get a breeze blowing through if I want to, and as I said, the sun comes in from over here, so the sun will be hitting it nice and early in the morning, and it will be in full sun all day after that. And then I'll put these large beds in around it. So I've got 3 meters by 1.5, all of these, and in between I've left 50 centimeters. In between the polytunnel and the first bed's a meter, so that's more than enough room for me. I've laid it out on the floor, and I found 50 centimeters is more than enough for me to get down in between and reach into the middle of these beds. So no problem with access there. It is a little bit smaller, the polytunnel that I initially wanted. I initially wanted a 4.5 meter one, but it doesn't look like space is going to allow me. And thinking about it, really, I don't think that I'm going to need one that big. I was probably just being a bit greedy, to be honest. One thing I am questioning though is these apple trees. Now, I mean, you can see how many beds I can get in a fairly small area. These apple trees do take up a lot of room. So what I'm thinking is I'll maybe keep the first apple tree here. That's the Granny Smith one, and I'll get rid of this one because then that will open up all of this space and give me space for an extra 2 or 3 beds probably. So I'm thinking of getting rid of that one but keeping this one, because I do like the idea of having one of the apple trees stay. And then around here, outside the shed, I can just pop small beds, like herb beds, things like that, little containers and things. Along the back here, they'll probably have some water butts, collecting water from the shed. And right up in the corner here, I've got a compost bin, just against the fence there. I think that's everything I need to say. I mean, if you can see any glaring mistakes or omissions, then let me know, or if you can see a better layout, let me know. But as far as I can see, 12 meters by 8 without getting rid of both the apple trees, that's about as much as I can fit in. But if I get rid of this apple tree here, that'll give me space for another 2 or 3 beds, and the beds being 3 meters by 1.5, that's a fair bit of growing room. So yeah, I think this is the way I'm going to go forward. I've spent hours and hours thinking about it, and loads of different ideas and layouts and things, but this is the one I think I've come to. So yeah, let me know your thoughts, and with that we'll head back to the plot. So if you watched the video on my beetroot harvest, you'll know that I was a little bit disappointed with the size of them. They tasted quite nice, but they were sort of like golf ball sized, maybe a tiny bit bigger. Just gone to the other end of the row. It's about 4 weeks later now, maybe 3 weeks, and I got a couple of bigger ones. So I've got some decent sized ones and one proper sized one. It's kind of like a tennis ball size. So really pleased with that. So I can go home and cook them up. I might pickle a few, because I just watched Terry's video on pickling his beetroot, so I think I might have a go at that, see if I can preserve some of them for a little bit longer, because it was a bit of a struggle to get through the amount that I ate, that I harvested last time. So yeah, good news, good harvest, things are looking up.